Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven.
Y todo lo que desatares en la tierra será desatado en los cielos.
Our church was founded in 1870, and so it's 145 years old right now. I came 22 years ago. Lisa, you came like 15 years ago. Yeah. Something we're really excited about right now is the whole multi-site movement. And it's been amazing how on very little financial resources we've been able to do some of this. We have one that started in Montana where a couple from our church started a bed and breakfast. It's called The Hangar. It caters to pilots flying in, so every Sunday afternoon they push the planes out. They set up the hangar for a church service, have a live church service, but then with a video message from our church from the week before. Then a church heard about them doing that. So a church in Arco, Idaho, who needed a pastor and couldn't find a pastor. Well, they decided, well, we could do that. So they have their own church, First Baptist Church of Arco, Idaho. But then the message is provided by our church from the previous week or the weeks that they want to use. And so Arco, Idaho and Montana, with very little effort, have become a multi-site for our church.
And then just recently, we've had a small church out in Rancho Cucamonga that was really struggling and just needed some help come to us and say, hey, would you guys help us? And so we have been able to partner with them now and offer some resources and create a service for them. We're really excited that we're just getting ready to launch this fall.
Every time I've gotten outside of my comfort zone, tried something new, most of the time, 90% of the time, you're so glad that you did it. It's like in your individual Christian walk, you're so glad you did it. In church leadership, you're glad as well. It's worth, in the end, it is worth the price that you might pay for moving into new things.
It is so encouraging that God is truly alive and powerful and working and real, and that what we do as the local church is super important to our people and to the community, to help them realize that God is not dead, God is alive, and it's through the local church that God really wants to impact lives.
At what point do you say, I'm done growing this church?
Wow, Lord willing, never, ever, ever, ever. And sorry to use a sports analogy, but we are in football season right now. The things you remember about a game are the fourth quarter things. And so there are younger ones coming along and younger leaders, like Lisa and others that are coming along to carry the ball. But as long as I'm on the playing field, involved in leadership, I often think to myself, it's the fourth quarter that is usually the most memorable. So I am just praying, and for those in our church that are, over 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, these are the years that sometimes you do the most memorable things for God. And so this is the time to try new adventures. Frankly, I find that as you get older, I become more open to taking risks. Sometimes you think it goes the opposite, but I would challenge all of us that are in that fourth quarter of ministry, this is the time to take a risk, because you've got the foundation of your first three quarters to fall back on. Why not be more of a risk taker in the fourth quarter to reach people for Christ and to change our world for Christ?